about the enemy. Light can't reach the furthest depths of the cave. It may be impossible to proceed without a torch. You light the torch. It'll be much easier to explore now with your surroundings better illuminated. Though the torch lights your immediate surroundings, you still cannot peer far into the distance. Don't hold back. Excellent. You did great. The ground tinkles beneath your feet. You look down to find it is littered with empty medicine bottles. Has someone been on a bit of a binge? A message is carved into the ground. Never forget. A bitter final missive from an adventurer done in by monsters, perhaps. About the enemy. Excellent. Oh? Let's do this. Nice work. was lucky. You did great. The door is shut tight. It seems some strange force keeps it barred. Upon closer examination of the door, you spot a cavity that looks like some sort of sphere should go there. You put the magic sphere into the cavity, and the door opens. Let's do this. Claret trail leads you deeper into the cave. Was the walking wounded a monster or a human? A knot forms in your gut. You raise the torch to get a better look at your surroundings. The walls have been gouged and scarred as far as you can see. Another message comes into view, written in tiny letters among the scars. I will find you. What horrors transpired here? Press on, deeper into the cave. Light floods into the chamber, illuminating a scene so startling you nearly drop the torch altogether. Two mummified bodies lie close beside one another, their hands beside them, a message written in blood. We leave together. Perhaps they were lovers? Whatever the case, you notice the bellwether nestled in their hands. You gently pry it free, bend a knee, and say a small prayer for the dearly departed. You make to open. Next instant, something leaps at you out from the darkness. Let's do this. Fortune favors the bold. That was lucky. Monster defeated, you turn toward the treasure chest. And see those Ivory Order jerks rooting through it. You rush over, but you're too late to stop them. Sweet of you to take care of the monsters for us, trills Winifred, favoring you with a smile. Tucking the spoils from the chest safely into a bag, the Ivory Order trio stroll away whence they came. Knowing you couldn't stop them if you tried, you could do nothing but stand slack-jawed and watch them go. The chest is empty, save for a ragged doll. Nice of them to leave us the trash, you grumble in irritation. For some reason, Melanie picks up the ragged doll. Your shoulders slump. All that effort, and this is all you get to show for it? You find nothing else even close to treasure. Hope Cypri is ready for bad news. Leave now would be the fastest way out. You left the western cave. Here to stay the night? The innkeeper asks the moment you set foot in the inn. Now that she's reunited with her stolen skin medicine, the woman couldn't be happier. All thanks to the heroes from the Ivory Order, she says. A huge smile on her face, she begins applying the medicine all over her skin. Were you able to find my treasure? Cypri asks. This is all we found, says Melanie, withdrawing the ragged doll. Cypri's eyes widen as soon as he sees the doll, and he reaches out to take it. Without breaking his gaze away from the doll, he begins to speak. Cypri tells you he gifted this doll to his young daughter a long time ago, but she fell gravely ill and died. Since then, Cypri has treasured this doll as he treasured his daughter. Then the monsters took it from him. Cypri turns to Melanie, his head bowed deeply in gratitude. So you reclaimed the treasure by complete accident. You step closer to Cypri. How are you going to thank us? You rudely inquire. Cypri gestures as if to say, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Far to the east of town is a place called Unionville, where monsters and humans live together in harmony. According to Cypri, you might be able to learn something there, as the dragon and monsters are not totally unrelated. Upon hearing that, you turn on your heel to leave. Cypri calls out to stop you. Journeying to Unionville entails traversing the dense expanse of the bewildering wood. You'll need this, he says, and holds out something for you. You won't make it through the bewildering wood without it, Cypri says. Your sights set on the distant Unionville, you resolve to navigate through the bewildering wood. About the enemy. Something's catching the sunlight just so. You move closer to get a better look at it. You find a chest lodged in the hollow of a tree. Something about this feels familiar. You fish a note out of your pack. Sure enough, this is the location those thieves mentioned when you were eavesdropping. Quite convinced you've found their stash, you open the chest with a self-satisfied smirk on your face. A thick fog impedes your vision. You surmise this is in no small part why they call it the Bewildering Wood. Many a brave soul has set foot in this wood, only to be swallowed up and never seen nor heard from again, the traveler intones gravely. They also tell of a certain tool one needs to get through this place. You hear a beautiful melody flowing from the forest depths. It sounds like singing, or perhaps birdsong. As you listen closely, you are struck by a sudden dizzy spell. You sense a presence growing closer, but cannot react. The grass rustles, then a monster slowly shows itself from between the blades. It's a harpy. Realizing you've been caught in the harpy's trap, you ready your weapons. About the enemy. For some time after that, you find yourself trembling at the mere sound of a bird's tweet. A message is written on the sign. Seek out the four stela hidden deep in these woods. As if drawn in by the... Why won't the right words come to me, she laments, her fingers stopping on the strings. Hearing her sigh, you offer to help her with her song. Very well then. Please finish this verse, she responds, then begins to sing. You shout the words in a loud voice. The woman's mouth hangs open, wide. The words are so plain, perhaps overly so, which is precisely why they pierce the heart, she says, your cheap words somehow resonating with her. She entreats you to let her use your lyrics. Imagining the royalties, you happily agree. Doesn't look particularly special. You resolve to touch it anyhow. Fight. Next stela is, you hear someone murmuring. It sounds like a man, but you can't really be sure in these woods. Fight. That was lucky. southern stela. You smack it and hear a sound off to the west. You'd best head that way next. Attributing it to your imagination, you decide to ignore it. A short moment later, the melody stops. You have found the eastern stela. You see the words Melody of Fortune chiseled into the corner. Trees bearing very solid-looking nuts whip to and fro in the force of the gale. This doesn't bode well for you. A bunch of nuts fly off from the trees, but you and your friends hightailed it out of there before any of them could hit you. The man sighs, realizing he may never be able to escape with his current tool set. western stela, which you swear up and down was not here when you came in. Nevertheless, you give it a smack. You have found all 4 of the stela in the bewildering wood. On a perhaps related note, you hear a sound emanating from the east. I need to hit the stela every single time I want to go home. Ugh, what a pain, the frowning woman sighs. The woman appears to be lost. How do I get out of here? She asks with furrowed brows. You examine the stela. The message carved into the stela reads, "Play in tune with the forest." You hold the woodland flute you received from the good doctor in Thriston. Doot 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 doodly doot 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 doot. You blow a handful of pleasant enough notes into the woodland flute. You soon become aware of accompanying percussion, which reveals itself to be a series of impeccably timed footfalls racing toward you. A young woman appears before you. "That was absolutely dreadful," she whinges, her jaunty gait betraying her enjoyment. She calls herself Ridis and declares herself a woodlander, resident of the bewildering wood. By sheer coincidence, the flute on which you played those notes was one designed to call the woodland people to your side. Stunned by your good fortune, you ask Ridis to lead you eastward out of the forest. What luck! She agrees far more readily than you ever anticipated. But, she continues, extending her hand, you'll have to hand over the woodland flute first. That'll cost you 1,000 gold pieces, you say smugly. Ugh, it's always about money with you travelers, she snorts derisively. Her face contorts in disgust. She reaches into her cloak. Hey, what about my money? You stammer. Before you can finish your thought, Mars' tongue whips across your hand, snatching the fruit and sliding it into his gullet. Ridis gasps. How could you let him do that? Just one of those fruits sells for 10,000 gold pieces, she shouts. So you can pay me back for the fruit your little friend stole, or you can hand over that flute, she says, pressing her case. I think you've lost this one, Melanie says, snickering. You look down at Mar, who seems quite pleased with himself. I suppose I have, you sigh in resignation. You begrudgingly hand the woodland flute to Ridis. Ridis plucks the woodland flute out of your hands with glee and begins playing it as she skips away. Well, playing is a generous term. It sounds as though she may as well be murdering the poor thing. Ridis makes it clear that the fastest way out of the woods is through woodland, where she lives. It's that-a-way, Riddish says gleefully, pointing past the stela before you.